Hey everyone, and welcome back to Leaders of Digital Learning 2021. My name is Pam Curry. I'm from Tablet Academy Scotland, and this session is going to be about Screencastify, an amazing little app, Chrome extension that enables you to record videos so super easily. It's unbelievable. In fact, it's not going to take me long to explain how to do it because it really is so straightforward. Thanks very much to everyone who's attended the sessions all day. We've had a phenomenal response. We're trending on Twitter, which is just incredible. And it's great to see so many of you joining us. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive into share my screen and just explain to you a bit about what we're doing today in terms of the agenda. So in terms of Screencastify, we're going to look at what it is. We're going to look at how you set up an account and sign in. I'm going to show you how to install the Chrome extension. Then we're going to look at the recording interface and have a little play around with the tools. We're going to show you how to record a video. We're going to show you how to use the annotation tools. Then we'll show you a little bit about editing and editing options and sharing options. And then we'll go into a bit of a discussion about, how you can use videos, video casts, screencasts, how you can use Screencastify just to share a video of you talking to your class, or even an audio clip to add in to feedback, or overlay somewhere else. It's so many great ways you can use this fantastic tool. I would say it's an essential part of your digital teaching toolkit. And let's just have a look at how it works. So I'm going to just close down my presentation, and you see that I'm now on the website for today's event. And up here on my browser, you might notice I have the little Screencastify icon. So let's just take a step back. I'm going to switch my Chrome browser to a different tab. So go in and just talk for a minute about Screencastify and how it works. So I'm in a different tab now, and I'm going to sign into Glow, and that'll take me in to my Glow Google account. So what I want to do is I want to just search the internet for screencastify.com. Now you could go in through the Chrome Web Store and find it that way. So you could go in through Chrome Marketplace and download the extension there. So remember, a Chrome extension is just something that sits in your browser in this extensions tab here, and it just adds extra functionality to Chrome and works in the browser. So phenomenally easy to deal with. Now, I've already installed the extension on this Glow account. So it's telling me it's already installed. If I hadn't, there would be a little button here that would say install it now. It would take you to the Chrome Marketplace. You would click add to Chrome, and then it would show up here on your browser, top right. A little jigsaw puzzle icon will always show you your extensions. And a good tip here is just to press the little pin icon, and that will pin that extension to the top of your screen so that you've always got it there. So let's just assume we're installed, we're set up, we've logged in with our Glow Google account. Now, the reason I say log in with your Glow Google account is if you're using Google in Glow. If you're not using Google in Glow, then you would just add this to Chrome. You don't need to be using it. And some authorities or some schools might block Chrome extensions. So you could get to the situation where you try to install it and it won't work. My advice to you then is to make sure that you're not signed into the Chrome browser using your Glow login or your school login. If it's being a problem, sign out of the browser, and you can still use the Chrome browser, but then sign into your Glow account within it. So hopefully that's clear. It's a wee bit complicated because sometimes it doesn't work. Most of you are coming from Stirling and Clacks today though, and I know for sure that this will work. Signed into Chrome in Clacks, and it will work if you're in Stirling because it's a whitelisted app in Stirling as well. Other local authorities, it may vary, so just be aware. But you'll always be able to do this on a personal Google Chrome browser account. So if we go to People in Google Chrome, you can see that these are all different versions of Google Chrome. It's almost like having 20 different computers, because I can jump between them and I can see different content, and I'll be signed in different ways in each browser. So I really recommend that you sign into Chrome. But in the case of Screencastify, it actually might be more useful for you to be signed out or signed in a different way. Anyway, hopefully that was clear. If not, please just ask us questions and we can clarify that later. I'm going back to my Glow browser though, because that's where I have Screencastify all set up. And it's just here. Anytime I like, I just click that, and within a few seconds, I could be making a screencast. Oh, I need to just enable my... Now, I'm a wee bit worried here because I'm using my webcam and my mic to stream. So there might be a situation here where I need to dive onto a different computer, but we're just going to go with it and hope that it lets me do both. So I'm enabling my camera. Remember, this will happen for you as well. You need to give permission. And all you're doing is giving Screencastify permission to use your camera, to use your mic, and to set up the annotation tools on your browser. It's telling me now that I'm all set, I'm good to go. I can close that page and I can start recording. So let's just go to like BBC News. We'll go to a different website so as not to confuse you. So I'm now on the BBC News website, and imagine I'm a teacher and I want my class to look at the BBC News website and focus on a specific article. Now, telling them that in Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams is one thing, but showing them what you want to do is entirely something else. And that's where Screencastify becomes really, really powerful. So I'm going to click on the app here, and I'm just the extension, sorry, and it's going to open up this recording window. So we're looking at the top right. Sorry, I've just clicked it off. We're looking at the top right here, and I'm just going to talk you through the options that we've got. So we've enabled our microphone, and we can select which microphone we like. So if you want to use the internal microphone, choose that. If, like me, you're using an external microphone, you would choose that. So just remember that if you've got an external microphone connected to your computer, you will have to select that microphone if it's going to pick up your voice. So I'm just going to click on that one just now. I'm just checking that everyone can still hear me okay on the other stream. I'm just going to stick with the internal microphone for this. And then I can click webcam as well, and it will embed my webcam. I'm just checking that I'm still coming in on the screen, and we are. So at this point, I've set my microphone, I've set my webcam. So what this means is it's going to record my voice, it's going to record me on my webcam, okay? And I'm also going to record whatever I'm doing on my computer screen. And that's what a screen recording is. It records your screen, but it also records your voice talking about what you're showing on your screen. And if you like, it can also record you, a bit like what you're experiencing with me just now. You can see my screen, you can see my webcam, and actually Screencastify lets you have exactly the same experience in a video. So let's have a look at some more options. What you can do is allow a countdown. I always like a countdown. It just gives you that moment to prepare, get ready to record your video. And I've selected the drawing tools. So I'm happy with this setup. I've got my microphone selected. I've chosen a countdown just to count me into the recording. And let's talk about what other options you could have here though. You could decide that you just want to record your webcam, and that wouldn't record your computer screen. It just records your webcam. It just records you on video talking to your pupils. Now that could be really powerful. It could be a really powerful way of saying, how are you? Hello, how are you getting on? Just invite some kind of check-in response. Just tell them some news, introduce a topic. And if that's the case, maybe you want just your webcam. You don't want your computer screen. So you kind of need to decide how you want your video to appear before you set up these settings. So I usually just go for desktop, and I usually go for my webcam being built in, because I find that young people and adults like to see you. It makes it more human or something. They like to see you as well. So good tip to bring in your webcam too. But you know what? See if you're having a bad hair day, you can leave it out. There's also times when not having your webcam on and just having your voice explaining what's going on in your computer screen is what you would like to do. So I'm happy with this, and literally, like, it's a couple of settings. It's like, check your mic, check your camera, add a countdown, add the tools, hit record. So now that I'm hitting record, you should see my screen becoming full screen video. And that's because I'm recording a video now to share with my class. And this is just a video of me talking to them. I'm just going to switch that off now. And oh, hold on, I'm just going to get rid of that. So I'm going to stop that. I've stopped my recording now, and I'm just going to go back into StreamYard because I've lost the screen now. I'm just going to go back in, and I'm going to share my screen again because using Screencastify's kicked off my screen share. So here we are again. I'm back in screen sharing, and I'm going to open Screencastify here on this browser now. So this is a different Screencastify account, but I've got the same tool. It's there with me whenever I'm on Chrome, no matter what website I go to. This little recording function is with me all the time. So let's just have another little go at recording. I'm going to choose to share my entire screen, and it's just going to give me my countdown. And you can see it's recording me in the bottom right. So this is my Screencastify window that you're seeing. Ignore the little me on the left-hand side of the screen, because that's my streaming video cam. But what I'm doing just now is I am recording my screen on Screencastify. So everything that I do on my screen here is being recorded, and you can see that I've got my little camera, which I can drag about, by the way. So I can resize that. If I want my video to be a bit bigger, I can make it bigger. If I want it to be over the left-hand side, I can move it over to the left-hand side. That's going to really confuse you because that's where you are seeing me on my other streaming. There's too much streaming going on today. Okay, so when we're making our screen recording, obviously we can browse about between these different pages, and it's going to record everything I'm saying and everything that I'm showing on the screen. So I'm just browsing about the website for today's event, and I'm speaking over the top. Now, let's talk about the annotation tools for a minute. So you'll notice down the left-hand corner, bottom left, so the bottom left of my screen here, I've got this little grey toolbar, and that's where my annotation tools live. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you can draw attention to things on your screen. So, for example, this is not a very good example that I'm showing just now. Let's just go to Maps, because this could be a good example. So, see, I'm on Google Maps. I'm obviously showing Google Maps now, and I'm showing Alloa because that's where I'm based. So, imagine I wanted to point out something about Alloa. I've got some options here. So what I can do is I can click these pointer options, and this one will just allow me to focus attention. So that was the one on the extreme left. That's the focus attention. I can also hide my mouse pointer completely, and I can get it to emphasize mouse clicks. Now that could be useful if you want to click on something. So if you're clicking and you see the red circle that's appearing, that's just drawing attention in my video to certain bits of what it is I'm showing. Now that could be useful if you are maybe teaching a piece of writing, you want to highlight things, maybe want to draw attention to where you're clicking on the screen. So maybe if you're doing a screen demo of like how to find resources in Google Classroom, that's a really great way to use Screencastify to demonstrate where the learning is, to say, look, here's your assignment for today. It's in here. You go to this class stream and do that. So at that point, you might want to draw attention to certain bits. And the radio button thing can be really handy just for emphasizing your mouse clicks. So just that red circle appears there. What you can also do is use the pen. So the pen allows you to choose a nice color. Always choose one that contrasts against your screen background. And you can just draw attention to things. So you could, draw a big arrow pointing at Colab, which is my office. Or, if you're analyzing a piece of writing or something, then you could go into the text and take them through slides. You could just click on the pen and maybe draw attention to something. Now, you can imagine that when this becomes a video, it becomes really powerful because you've got your voice, you've got your video where you're, showing yourself, keeping connected to your learners, and you're able to draw attention to things as you go. Once you're happy with your recording and you've finished it, what you need to do is go back up. You see there's a little red recording. It's very tiny. You might not be able to see it, but there's a little red circle appears when you're still recording. And to end the recording, you just click on that. Oh, I was a bit too rushed. Click on it and wait a second. I'm going to move myself out the way. So you see here, it's saying my desktop's been recorded. Now I could pause this and resume the recording. That would be an option. If like that way where you're like, what am I going to say now? Pause it, resume. Or you could get some more resources loaded up or something. Maybe load up something from Google Classroom and then just start recording from there. Caveat, you're limited to 5 minutes on the free version. Now, I don't think that's a big issue because actually videos longer than 5 minutes might be a bit of an issue for attention spans and for your class. So maybe it's useful to create lots of short videos and you can still share them. And you could even use something like WeVideo or another video editing platform to bring them all together into one. But there's a 5 minute limit on the free version. Paid versions are available. I don't even think it's that much. It's like $29 for a year's teacher membership. So it's not much at all. And that gives you access to the recording bit of Screencastify for a year. So it might be that you find the premium version affordable and that you would want to be able to record for longer. I usually find the 5 minutes is fine, and that I'll then make lots of little 5 minutes and bring them together into one using some other editing platform. Once you're happy though, press stop and let's just have a look at what happens next. So what's happened now is that this has opened up the file in a kind of sharing window. And you'll notice on the top right-hand corner, it says saving to Drive. And this is where the magic is, folks. Google Drive is automatically saving your screencast. So you don't have to download it. You don't have to, get it on your computer and then upload it to a file sharing platform. It's there, it's ready, it's being processed, and it's automatically going into your Google Drive, which I think is incredible. In your Google Drive, you'll have a folder called Screencastify, and everything will be recorded and saved in there. Now, another great feature is that it's really easy to share your screencast to your Google Classroom. If you've signed into Screencastify using your Google account, it's automatically linked to your Google Drive, so it's saving in there. That means it's really easy to share with pupils wherever you need them, wherever you collaborate with them. If it's Google Classroom, it might be a Microsoft team, but this makes it really easy. It's easier for Google because it's so integrated with Google. It's going into your Drive and it goes straight to Classroom. But it's also possible to make a screencast and then just copy the shareable link. So let's just talk about sharing for a little second. Look at the share icon here. So in the right-hand side, when your video is processing, so remember this is my video. I'm just going to pause that because it's quite distracting. I've paused it on a really unfortunate facial expression. Okay, so just going to pause that video. Now, two things before actually we go on to sharing. These little scissors, let's talk about the scissors. So these little scissors are just for quickly snipping off the beginning or the end of your video. So what you do is you just grab them, and if you want to get rid of a little bit at the beginning, because let's face it, we make, we're a bit stuttery at the beginning, or we'll maybe have noises, we'll bash into something. And if you want your video to be really slick and professional, you might want to just get rid of that little bit at the beginning, just trim it down. You can see there I've moved a few seconds. I've moved a few seconds off from the end. And if I click Save Trim now, then what it's going to do is just say, you sure about that? I'm sure about it. I'm going to trim it, and that's just going to snip off the bit at the beginning and the bit at the end when I was a bit, stopping things or going back to another tab or whatever. It just trims the video, and then it updates the link in your Google Drive so that your video is now all trimmed, nicely organized, good to go. In the top left, I might want to give it a title. So I might want to call it label lesson, let's just say. Give it a title. And then it's an opportunity now to look at one of the other features of Screencastify. So your basic Screencastify, there's 3 products really. There's the recorder, which is what we've been looking at up till now. But then you've also got this product, the editor. And you can see that your video, when it's automatically shared into your into this video recorder platform, which allows us to share, it also allows us to edit it in a bit more detail. So we're not just trimming the beginning, we're not just trimming the end, but we can open it up in the editor. Now this is a kind of like another app, okay? So it's like a different app, and actually they've got different prices for each bit of Screencastify. So the recorder bit's got one price, the editor bit's got another price, and there's a third aspect to it that we're going to look at in a minute, which is an additional price. But everything's available free. So you can actually use every single part of Screencastify totally free, as long as you remember you're limited to 5 minutes. But remember I said that's not a major issue. So very quickly, I'm getting a guided tour. So I love these little guided tours. It's just telling me what I can do here. So I edit it down here. Over the right, I can import files. So why would you use a video editor? Well, you'd use a video editor if you wanted to bring together multiple clips. So for example, you might have clips that you filmed back in those days when we used to be with children. We might have filmed little clips. We might want to bring some of them in. We might have, I don't know, a video recording of something we've drawn on a whiteboard, or a little animation that we want to bring in. So you might want to add multiple videos and edit them all together. And this plus button here, very familiar to Google users. You'll notice the plus button throughout your whole app suite. It's very reminiscent of the Google products when you see the kind of user interface and the functionality, the plus button, the 3 little dots, the hamburger menu, the meatball menu, they're all there. And it means that it's a really nice user experience if you're used to using that Google for Education app suite. So just go on to the next tooltip. It's telling me that I make edits in the timeline, and it's telling me that I can cut, crop, zoom, and more. And then it's telling me up the top right, I download my finished video. So let's just show you some of those editing features. So if you're not familiar with video editing at all, then it's worth just explaining that along the bottom here is what's called a timeline. And that just basically starts at the beginning of your video and then goes right through to the end in order of occurrence. So down here, you'll notice that wherever I click on this timeline, I get a white vertical line. That's because I can kind of break my timeline up and I can do things. So if I decide that, maybe there's a bit of my video where I've stuttered or I've, stumbled over something, then I can use this little editing feature just to trim a bit out. So I can cut it. And you'll see now I've got 2 segments, that one and that one. And I might want to just get rid of this one at the beginning because, I made a mistake or I did something. You can also chop it in the middle. And you could just add in another clip there, for example. So you might want to move that out the way. And you might want to bring a clip in from your Google Drive or upload from your device. And at that point, you could slot it in there and you can see how you can build up your timeline in segments like that. One thing you might have seen people do on screencasts and videos like this, so you'll seen videos like this all over YouTube. I'm kind of doing one today. We've done, any of us digital people do them all the time, so you'll be used to the format of them. And one thing you'll have seen people do is add text to their video. So if I just click add text, what happens is I get this little text box, and I might say, welcome to Ian Lazar, because he's been working with us all day. So I might want to, you can change font. I can decide if I want it to be big. I can make it bold. I'll need to highlight my text first. Make it bold. I'll make it italic, bold and italic. Goodness me. Yeah, you can just add this text, and it'll just put it in like a kind of lower third or somewhere on your screen. And if you want, you can kind of move it to the middle and the bottom, just like that. So you go onto that little thing at the end there, and it'll just move it up. You could have it at the top, you could have it, it's best practice to have it at the bottom. I think that's what people are used to. But you can see it's a bit messy at the bottom of mine. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for the editor. Again, you're limited to this 5 minutes, so that could be a bit of an issue with an editor, bringing together lots of videos. You could be over your 5 minutes in no time. But I would recommend WeVideo if you're liking longer videos, then that could be a way to have lots of Screencastifys and then upload them into WeVideo and then, you know, make a longer video there. So I'm just going to click export now. I'll put export to Google Drive, and it's going to save this edit. So we'll call this Screencast edit. And it's just going to save this as a new file. We've worked on it, we've done some work on it. We've chopped in other bits, we've added some text over the top. You know, it's not the most fully featured video editor you're ever going to see. It's pretty basic, but actually sometimes less is more, and that makes it really easy for you to do it. So it's processing my video there. I'm not going to wait for it because we've got a lot to get through today. I'm just going to go back to this really unfortunate facial expression that we've got frozen here, and show you how to share into Google Classroom. So under the share, there's a number of options. Now I've activated all my sharing options. You might not, you won't see them. You'll only see YouTube, embed code, and email. You might see, I think you see QR code as well. The Share to Google Classroom, Edpuzzle, and WakeClip were ones that I've added, and you can see they've got this thing called the App Smash library, where you add these links so you can toggle them on and off. Edpuzzle, in case you haven't seen it, is amazing, and what it allows you to do is ask questions in the middle of a video. So if you upload a video to Edpuzzle, you can stop the video at a given point, and you can ask a little quiz question just to check for understanding, make sure everyone's paying attention. And that's a phenomenal resource as well, Edpuzzle. I mean, there's only so many sessions we could do today, but that would have been up there as well. So yeah, WakeClip as well, if you've not discovered it, great way to bring together lots of resources. And I don't use Remind, so I don't even know what Remind is. But I've got these all switched on. I would recommend that you do that as well. I don't know how we come out of this. I think I'll just go back. It's always a good idea just to go back. So here's my video. You can see that I can download my video. I can download it as an MP4 file, or I can export it as an animated GIF. Now imagine if you just had a little like tech tip, like, you know, how to share your screen, how to share a Google Doc, how to, something like that. A little animated GIF's a powerful way to show that tech tip. So it could be, you just do a quick, simple, you know, click here, click here, click here. Done, video finished, 10 seconds. You could turn that into an animated GIF to share on Twitter, wherever you like, into your Google Classroom, anywhere. And that little animated GIF can make a really powerful, like, tech tip, bit of advice, something short and sweet. We're tight for time. Maybe a tech tip that lasts 15 seconds and shows you 3 clicks is very, very useful. In fact, Tablet Academy in England have been doing this on TikTok, and they've got like hundreds of thousands of followers. So it's micro-learning, animated GIFs, really powerful. So that's a good option. You can also just export your audio, like I said, so you could maybe just take the audio, forget about the, you know, the video bit or the screencast bit, and just take your audio. But like many of the apps that we've shown today, this is a really easy way to share to Google Classroom as well. So if I click Share to Google Classroom, and what's going to happen is it's going to open up my Google Classroom, It's going to let me choose my class now. I'm on a private account here, so I've hardly got any classes, but I do have one, and it lets me set the assignment directly from here. So I can create an assignment. Let's just go through this process to show it to you. I'm creating an assignment. You can see it's attached to my video file there. Just a wee problem, the WebM might be an issue for some people, but remember, you've got the option to export as MP4, which might be more easy. So if you do find any issues with people accessing files or being able to play them, could be that the WebM's an issue and you need to switch to MP4. But remember, at that point, you can just download it here and export it as MP4 and then upload it to your Google Classroom that way. But I found that most people are able to access them as a really small file size for video, and it works really well. So what that did there from one click, so let's just go over how easy this has all been there. We've opened up our extension, doesn't matter where we are, as long as we've got Chrome, we've got the extension, and we can be recording in seconds, like literally seconds. We're speaking over the top, everything's been recorded, our webcam, our microphone, our desktop. So that means you can explain anything. You can be showing a slides presentation, presenting over the top of that. On that note, actually, I'm just going to show you a quick tip. So let me just see, where are we? I'm just going to quickly, assuming everyone's been okay with that, I'm just going to bring up a slides presentation. And I want to just give you a quick tip for Screencastify that's worth pointing out. So if you were to open up a slides presentation like this, you wouldn't be able to use the screen recording tools and have your webcam. So, but if you go here to present and you click the drop down, and if you go to presenter view, and this is a real good trick here, because what it does is it lets me open Screencastify. It lets me have my drawing tools, lets me have my webcam. I'm going to be sharing my screen. So there we go. And actually, you can see I've got my drawing tools down here now. My webcam seems to have disappeared, but I've got my drawing tools, so I can go through my slides presentation now, and I can draw attention to things in my slides deck just by using these drawing tools. So I could, circle, Screencastify. Don't know why my webcam's not on, but it's not on. I must have clicked on the wrong thing there. So that's just a good tip. If you're on Google Slides and you want to record a video of you speaking over Google Slides, hit that presenter view, and you should be able to get your camera up there as well. You can. It's just I obviously didn't click it or something. I don't think I clicked webcam. So that's us really. That is pretty much in a nutshell Screencastify. I do have one more thing. Remember I mentioned there's 3 different parts to it. So there's the recorder part, which is, I'm still recording. It's this bit here. Just going to put that off. Remember, when it finishes recording, it opens up into this recorder view. Here it is here. Remember, that gives us the options to download and to share. Now, when you're in that view, you've got in the top left this meatball menu. Okay, so here we can see some options for what the 3 different parts are. So you've got your recordings, and if I go into my recordings, I'll be able to find all my recordings at any given time. So these are all the ones that I've just done this morning. There they all are, and I can click into them and share them wherever I like from there. So that's the hamburger menu, top left, my recordings. In hamburger menu, top left, you'll see Go Unlimited. Now what that does is it takes you to the sales page where they tell you you can upgrade. So actually this is good just to show you the education pricing. So remember the 3 apps, we've got Record, which is the actual screen recorder, this bit. So the bit we've been using to record our screen, that is Screencastify Record. Then we've got Screencastify Edit. Now that's what we clicked on, remember, when we wanted to make multiple, pull multiple clips together or add text. So this is Screencastify Edit, the free version. There's a paid version of that as well, remember. So 3 apps, Record, main recorder, edit if you want to edit. Now, you wouldn't need to get that. You don't even need to use it. You could, download the file and edit it in a different editing platform. It's getting complicated though, isn't it? Because the one thing about Screencastify is it's so easy. Everything's there. It's all in the one place. I've been making screen recording videos for years, and it's not been easy. It's certainly not been as easy as this. This is just, Screencastify just makes it universally easy for everyone. Because, a lot of people would be like, oh, sounds hard to make the screencast. It's not hard. It's actually really accessible for you as a teacher. You just need this little Chrome extension, and you could be making videos in seconds, sharing them into your Google Classroom 5 seconds later. Like literally within minutes, you could have made a video, recorded it. A great place to start is just to explain to the pupils what their work is. So to open up your Google Classroom and say, well, here you'll find, it's a great way to do it, just to give an overview. And you could be doing that literally in under 2 minutes from, starting up, getting the extension, starting recording, you're away. So one last feature I want to talk about is this new feature, which is called Submit. And what that does is it lets you send out a link, and other people will be able to submit a video reply without having to sign in or create an account or get an extension. Now, that could be very useful. It could be like really useful. You could get feedback on things. It might be a way to get younger learners on board. I would suggest it's not absolutely necessary, because actually you can use Google Classroom and instruct your students to, make it an assignment that they've got to get Screencastify, and they've got to do a video. So let's talk about that for a minute, okay? This whole idea that students, learners would make videos. Why would you want them to do that? Really important to show what their thinking is. Now, it's so powerful. I've tested this out a few times, this kind of theory, but asking a learner to explain what they've discovered or what they've found or their knowledge, their thinking on something can be really powerful in terms of assessment, in terms of just understanding that cognitive process and supporting them going forward. And what a great way to do it, to have them explain something on a video. Just, why did you write that in your essay? Explain it in a video. Why did you put that in your presentation? Explain it in a video. Do your presentation in a video. Share it into Google Classroom. It's a really, really powerful way, and actually learners love doing it. But it's a really powerful way to kind of get their voice and to understand their thinking and, get an insight into their learning. So Submit kind of lets you do that really easily. To demonstrate it, I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to click here. So these are the 3 apps: Recordings, Editor, Submit. So if I go to Submit, let's just very quickly talk about how this might work. Now, I've not used it yet. On the free version, yes, there's a limit. The free version limits you to 1 active assignment. So basically, it's almost like introducing a little assignment process into your videos. So you can, and again, guess where it's linked to? Google Classroom. So this would be me at setting up the recording. So what do I want the pupils to do? Do I want them just to record their webcam? Do I want them to record their screen? I suggest you want them to do both. Then you hit next. You give it a title. We'll just call it "How are you?" We'll put "Tell me." So it could be just a health and well-being check-in. How are you feeling? How's your week been? Here's our options. So who can submit a video? Anyone with the link. Students cannot view any videos. That's probably a good one. You could let them view their own video though. Probably be a good idea. And if someone submits a video, you probably want to receive an email. So I'm going to leave that checked on. Then I'm going to hit next and give it a few seconds. And here's my live assignment. So all I need to do now is copy that. And then let's just try opening that in a new tab. See what it looks like from the point of view of the learner. So it's just saying, how are you? Tell me how you are. It's like literally telling you what to do. Turn on mic and webcam. Okay. Give permission. Okay. Hit record. So this is now me recording my response. It's having a problem with the webcam because I'm streaming on the Screen software. So, but that's how easy it could be to get pupils to submit assignments. So we're nearing the the end of the session. I'm just checking in on my times here. It's nice to see so many of you joining us. Joining me. Just going to go full screen. I'm just going to come and speak to you for a wee second. So I just want to talk to you about some of the reasons you might want to use Screencastify. And so powerful. Let's just talk for a minute about learners, okay? Well, let's talk actually first about you as a teacher. So you as an educator have a really, really simple way to teach. And that teaching could be, it's asynchronous teaching. So it's teaching that you can provide forever. You can have that there anytime. It's Netflix, it's on-demand learning. It's extending the school day. We're going beyond the classroom walls, and we're going beyond 3 o'clock, because that teaching is there for your students anytime they need to view it. And you know what? In a remote context, that could be really super important, because they might have caring responsibilities. They might have, multiple family members trying to access computers, and maybe they actually need that kind of flexibility of asynchronous learning, being able to get to your videos at any time. And that's why Screencastify is an essential tool, certainly in lockdown, but actually going forward. I mean, really, I used to teach English. I used to teach the apostrophe 10 times a day, not just to pupils, by the way, to staff as well. But the apostrophe was I was like the grammar police. And see, if I just had a video of me, my best video, my top-notch, best apostrophe lesson, then if somebody was having apostrophe issues, you would just, share your apostrophe video with them, and you'd share it with every class that you teach, and you'd remind them over and over again, and you'd share the link in your Google Drive file when you're on an essay. So imagine you're in a Google Doc essay, someone's handing in a piece of writing, you just hit the comment feature, and you paste your link to your Screencastify video all about apostrophes. In the paragraph where they've made tons of apostrophe errors, a little comment saying, you might want to have a look at my apostrophe video, share, and that's giving them that kind of next step, that remedial step for supporting their learning. Video feedback as well, though. Wow. Imagine piece of work comes in Google Classroom. You can leave a comment, you can leave a personal private comment, but what if you made a little video where you recorded the person's piece of writing or piece of work or presentation, and you're recording your screen and you're recording your voice saying, well, I really like paragraph 1, but you could have done a little bit better. Your word choice here could be better. You've got spelling mistakes here, and you ping the link to the screen recording video inside their essay as a comment. That blows my mind. It's an incredibly powerful way to give feedback, to support learners. And that's just the learners. I mean, that's just you as an educator, explaining things. Anything you can do on your computer screen, you can explain. Anything. So web pages, explain them. Presentations, explain them. It could be Google Classroom work, explain that. Could be an assignment. You might need to talk. You might want to do a video saying, okay, this assignment asks you to write an essay about, the power of social media. You could then explain what you are looking for. You could make the learning intentions clear. You could go over the rubrics and success criteria, and just make it clear what's required at every level. To get this level, you need to do X, Y, and Z. To get an A or whatever, you need to do blah, blah, and blah. That would be phenomenal for learners, and I would argue that is much more powerful than what you might do in the traditional classroom, where you'd be limited by what you could do. You only give feedback. Remember the big queues at your desk waiting for marking to be done. It's just no longer an issue, because we're able to do things like this. And you know what? There'll always be generic problems that everybody has in an essay, won't there? So maybe you just need one video and fire it off as, the students aren't going to know that you've only recorded it once and are sending it to everyone, because their experience is they get a personal message from their teacher, and their teacher's added a video. Wow. Who read their comments on their work? We wrote them, didn't we, as educators, but did they read them? But there's actually evidence coming through from a lot of teachers I'm working with that if they get a notification, a ping, and it says, Miss Curry has left you a video, then I think most learners would click on that just to see what it was. So really powerful way of capturing that feedback as well. Guys, I have completely run out of time in this session. It was so nice of you to join us today. We've got the Q&A session coming up just after this. So from 2:30, we're going to let you get a little coffee break, go for a walk, get some fresh air, come back to us for 2:30 because we're going to have a live Q&A. Now, there's about 6-7 of us on the panel. We're all going to be on the panel. We're going to be taking your questions live. Ask us about anything that you've experienced in lockdown, that your challenges you're facing with digital learning. Ask about any of the sessions today. Ask us about any of the apps. Ask us anything. It's been amazing, the support that we've had today for this. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined. I hope you found this session on Screencastify useful. I expect that some of you will be so excited you'll be away making screen recordings this afternoon, because it's that easy, I promise you. There's nothing easier than doing this, and you'll get into the swing of it. We didn't even mention parents. Imagine if you could explain a little video to parents. A lot of parents telling you they don't know what they're doing with assignments and they're not sure when things are due and they're not sure what pupils have got to do. Well, hey parents, this is my assignment. So your child has been asked to do this. Here are the success criteria. Here's the support materials. It's really nice to see you. Thanks for supporting learning at home. Boom. Share with parents through Class Dojo or whatever means email. Download it as email and send it out. You know, it's powerful, this video business. And I clearly need to stop talking because I'm well over my time, but it was lovely to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. I will be running more events like this in the future, but please stick around for the Q&A. My name's Pam Curry. Nice to see you, and we'll speak